Hi, I'm Mike with Slater & Son. Today I'm real excited to bring this video to you. I've had a lot of questions and comments on Facebook groups and forums and everything asking what the differences in flooring types there are and how each floor is best suited for each house. Whether that be you have high traffic use or low traffic use, high humidity, basement installation, or main floor. So let's get started. Today I'm going to show you all the different types of hard surface flooring out there. Now obviously there's other categories like carpet and sheet vinyl, which I can cover in another video, but for right now we're going to concentrate on hard surface since that seems to be what is a little bit more popular on the market and that what more people have questions about. Carpet's been around long enough. I think people have a general understanding, but there's a lot of acronyms and different types of flooring that people aren't really sure about. So what I have here today is a 5-inch solid oak, 3/4 inch thick. I have a 3-inch wide, 3/8 thick engineered oak product. I have your solid laminate. This one has an attached pad, but some may not. I have a WPC product, which I'll get into what that means later, and an SPC product. All the three of these are click together products that are all floating floors. So let's get started with solid hardwood. Now solid hardwood's been around for years. Everyone likes the look of it. It is something that was once really popular. A lot of people take up old carpet, refinish it. I've done it myself in a previous house where we took up everything and saw this amazing floor underneath that we spent a full week sanding and refinishing and getting it perfect. But now they have pre-finished hardwood. So pre-finished hardwood, what the big selling point on that is they're able to put a much tougher finish on it than just a standard polyurethane, which is just it's a coating that you're gonna have to redo in depending on how many years the product's rated for, but it will not be a lifetime product. This particular product and a lot of oak and solid hardwoods, there are other species a little bit softer like birch, pine. They do sell in some big box stores. I would stay away from anything really soft. Oak has a really good hard, it's called a Janker rating, and I'll post a scale in the video on what each type of species is rated for. This is higher on the Janker scale rating. This is around 1200 for hardness. So what makes this one good is that it does have aluminum oxide in the finish. So aluminum oxide is impregnated into the coat, and what it really is just an abrasion resistance type coating. And the thing I can say about solid hardwood is that it does look beautiful down. This one has a nice wire brush finish. You can kind of see it in the light if I can get it in the right angle. We're in the Northeast, the United States, and we have low enough moisture that we can install this, but a lot across the country you can't, especially down south in Florida and high humidity areas. This will buckle, especially a 5-inch. This is a 5-inch oak, 5-inch wide product. And a lot of times what will happen is it'll actually cup. So when they say cupping, I can kind of show it to you on here, it'll actually round out. So 5 inches is as big as I would go in most environments. Another thing to consider, I'll do a little demonstration with a lot of these, but the abrasion resistance is a big thing. I take 1/4 for the tougher products. I don't typically do it on hardwood because people kind of understand what that product is going to be doing for them. So for this, I'll show you just to show you the differences what I have on the table here. So just by scratching this, you can already see it's leaving a little bit of marks just by doing that quick little scratch. So, and that's something you might be able to clean out a little bit. It won't do it as bad as like a polyurethane would have just done deeper scratches and actually gone into the wood. This is still in the wear layer. You probably can actually work this out eventually, but I just want to show that it is leaving marks pretty quick just from doing that. So the next product I have is an engineered oak. So this is the 3-inch wide. This particular one is a little bit of a lower end, so it's 3/8 thick. This one also has more of a laminate core to it. There's other products that are a little bit better out there that will be a 1/2 inch engineered. What makes it engineered is that they have a thin layer called veneer on the top. I can show a close-up of that, but some of them will have like a pulp as a core. They'll have other woods in there too. I've seen some that are an oak veneer on top. and then pine for the rest of them. But the main thing is you're trying to get stability. So this product, if you want a natural product, is great for down south and high humidity areas. And the reason that they're stable is that they take the graining, and what they're doing is actually making a sandwich layer. So more like plywood, which is built around your whole house. Plywood is much more stable under humidity, temperature changes, everything. So as far as the wear layer, it's going to be very similar. It does have aluminum oxide in it. So you're going to get a little bit of abrasion resistance. But this one's a little bit of a cheaper product, so you can see just by moving a few times with the quarter that I've already scratched through in this one. So this does have aluminum oxide, like I said, but just beware of that it is not going to be holding up to chairs, sliding, and that's really mostly what I do that quarter test for, is just to show you, chairs sliding on a dining room table. Just make sure you have rugs down with hardwood. So next we have every big box store's favorite. Everyone blows this out for really cheap. And the product's called Laminate. Laminate's been around. Pergo is who made it. Kind of come on the scene. Laminate has a very tough outer layer. A lot of your Formica countertops, they're all made out of a type of laminate. They're rated a little higher. They would have a little bit of a tougher finish, but same with laminate. Laminate flooring is still a very tough finish. This is a compressed wood pulp with a graphic outer layer. So now we're finally getting away from the actual natural graining. Now we're going into a image that is printed onto it. So it's actually a film on there. This one actually has an attach pad on it. They have a click together mechanism. Some of them have what's called a drop lock mechanism, but the concept is that the whole floor is floating. So then what the benefit of that is, if you have a little bit of imperfection in the floor that dips down a little bit, instead of a hardwood either glued, nailed, stapled, you can glue the tongues in hardwood, but for the most part it's glued, nailed, or stapled. You can float this and float over those imperfections so the floor won't follow what is underneath on the subfloor. The benefits of this, it is a cheap product. It is able to go into most applications. It's pretty solid as far as dent resistance. Now the big Achilles heel, and I have this conversation a lot with people, is that the moisture of this, there are some moisture resistant laminates on the market, and I say resistant for that reason because a lot of the marketing that goes into these laminates kind of shows that they're more waterproof than what they really are. So there are other better options, I feel like, as far as water resistant or waterproof, as far as the product concerned. And even before I get into any of the waterproof ratings, none of the products other than sheet vinyl would give you a full waterproof membrane over your subfloor. So the product itself will be waterproof, but water still can get in at all the joints. So if you do have a dishwasher that floods, I always recommend that you pull up, at least get to where that water was underneath it, dry it up, put a fan underneath there, and actually get that whole thing dried out, because otherwise you're going to run into a little bit of mildew smells underneath there, and it could turn more serious into mold then. Now if you have a dog that's housebroken and doesn't ever have accidents, laminate would be a good option for you. Very abrasion resistant. I did right in here and you can't actually even see anything on there. So as far as the finish, laminate's a very tough finish. If you're looking for something cheap to put in for your landlords out there, it wouldn't be a terrible option for a price point, especially if it is a little bit of lower end market. You're able to replace this every tenant. For homeowners, it's a great product if you're just trying to look for something very budget friendly. Now there are other products in the market that are getting down in price now that are a lot more comparable. So I'm going to get into those next. But that has been one of the ones that's been around for a little longer. Which brings me into the next segment. This actual product we do have installed in our own home, and I have been very happy with it. This product is called WPC, which used to stand for wood plastic composite or wood polymer composite. Once they stopped using wood in this product, a lot of manufacturers are starting to call it a waterproof core or a waterproof composite. I have an 80-pound lab that does run around on it, and it hasn't been an issue. I've also heard on some of these Facebook groups and forums that they're a little worried about it as far as slipperiness. I've heard a few people say how slippery these are. They're the slipperiest floor out there. Personally, these floors aren't any slipperier than your laminates or your engineered. they're all hard surface, so they are going to be a little more slippery than, you know, carpet or even a cushion sheet vinyl has a little bit of give to it. And what makes this special is that it is an expanded foam core. It does have an attached pad on the back, so it makes this product actually waterproof. You can leave this in water overnight in a fishbowl if you want to test it out, which you couldn't really do with your natural products or your laminates. Nothing will happen with this product. That being said, the joints are not waterproof. On anything that's clicked together, you're going to get some seepage that are in the joints, possibility of mold or mildew underneath. Now the biggest thing is, as far as like a waterproof flooring, there's a few on the market. LVT was one of the ones that was a little bit older, is more of a flexible product. Now we're learning to get away from that and go for more of a rigid product for stability, for temperature control. If you have higher heat that comes in from windows, or some other better products out there than LVT was. But this product is most commonly called LVT still by mistake because it's so similar. It does have some vinyl in it, but it is not the same product. The quarter test will show it actually holds up to it very well. So this product comes in a 12 by 24 inch tile as well. So this does have the attached pad on it, and it has the same kind of locking mechanism. It's just a different visual. The only thing I say with any of these planks as far as a DIY and what I see the most common is it definitely read your installation instructions. A lot of times I will see someone that hasn't installed before that will install planks too close like that, and you get a little bit of a risk of pulling apart and for that product failing. But other than that, you are pretty stable with it. WPC isn't an actual impact resistant type flooring. So what that means is that if you have a really sharp stiletto heel, if you drop a cast iron pan on the floor, it can dent. It won't be terribly noticeable, so it's not like something you have to really constantly be worrying about, but just know that that product isn't rated for that high impact resistance. So this brings me on to the last product. This is an SPC. So SPC is a stone polymer core. Some people call it a stone plastic core, stone plastic composite, but all of them kind of relate back to that it is made of stone and a plastic or a polymer. It is made out of a limestone as far as this particular product. It does have the attached pad just like the WPC. The big benefit of this one is that it is impact resistant. Nothing is impact proof. There's only a few products that actually want to claim that out there, so I'm always afraid to say something that is you know, fireproof or anything like that. What you're really looking for is that this won't break down as far as someone walking on heels with it. It is more temperature stable because it does have stone in it, so you wouldn't have to worry about putting this product into a 3-season room or a cabin or a house that doesn't have heat in a certain season. You know, even honestly in new builds, when you're in the process of moving in, you might not have the heat in, you might have all the plumbing done, but you're able to still install this product without having to worry about that. It does actually come in a little bit lesser wear layers. You don't have to worry about as much. This has a 12 mil wear layer, whereas the WPC had a 20 mil wear layer. They make this product in 20, I've seen it in 6 and 8. The 6 is a little bit thin. Some of the big box stores sell that. That would be definitely a price point product. That would be more in the category of laminate would be when you get down to the 6 mil, because you're just trying to get some, that's just a price point at that point, and not getting into something that is going to last you for years. Now the thing I like about this product is that, like I said, the stability, but what that also means is that it's not going to shrink and expand like some of your LVT, your earlier LVTs would. And LVT is still in a different category than the WPC and SPC. These are actually a polymer composite, where the LVT was a vinyl, a solid vinyl product. So there wasn't any layers, there wasn't any stability as far as that. They did put a fiberglass layer in them, but they still were limited on how stable they were, especially with high heat or cold temperatures. You would get some buckling and some separation. So to finish up with SPC, I'm going to do the quarter test. As you can see, there's nothing on the plank. So in conclusion, what do I think is the best floor for your house? It really depends on moisture level. Unfortunately, there's not just one floor that is going to be just a generic fits-all type of flooring. I will say personally, in the environment that I'm in, as far as moisture levels and everything else, I definitely swing towards these two. These are definitely more of my favorite, especially with the impact resistance of the SPC and the waterproof level of both of them. I'm really leaning more towards them. I think SPC just has a little bit to go, but I think this is going to be definitely the top product in the market. That gives you that wood visual look, but also gives you that durability and waterproofness that other products can't offer. Thanks for watching another Slater & Son video. If you like this, please put a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I'm going to be going over some products and how-to videos and some more home DIY type stuff. So please tune in. Thanks.